Moses never gives us any names for Pharaoh's magicians who were able to somehow replicate the earliest of the 10 plagues and give Pharaoh just enough to reject God's demands. The Apostle Paul, however, gives us 2. Jannes and Jambres are the names that Jewish tradition held for at least 2 of the Egyptian sorcerers. Paul adds them to Christian tradition by using them as an example for Timothy of the kind of people against which Timothy was finding himself in opposition. People who are always learning but never able to come to a knowledge of the truth. People who are of depraved minds. People who will not get very far because their folly will be clear to everyone. At Moses' instruction, his brother Aaron threw down his staff and it became a snake. Jannes and Jambres, thanks to their learning, managed to do something similar, a show of similar power that gave Pharaoh exactly the evidence he needed to do what he wanted, even though Aaron's staff snake ate theirs. At Moses' instruction, his brother Aaron stretched his staff over the Nile, and it and all the waters of Egypt turned to blood. Jannes and Jambres, with their depraved minds, found a way to imitate the miracle. I don't know where they found water that wasn't already blood, but they turned that into blood too, I guess. And Pharaoh's confirmation bias kicked in, and again he rejected God's demand. And all Egypt went without drinking water for a week. Moses and Aaron made frogs appear and cover the land. Jannes and Jambres got as far as adding more frogs. Pharaoh's heart remained hard. Moses and Aaron summoned a plague of gnats, and Jannes and Jambres' folly became clear when they couldn't produce any gnats. "This is the finger of God," they told their boss. But by now he was past the point of listening even to them. Because he hadn't ever been listening to them. Not really. That's the thing about those who pander and say what they think you want to hear and do whatever they can to validate the opinion you already have. You don't need them. And when the plague of boils and sores afflicted Jannes and Jambres themselves, they couldn't even stand before Moses and Aaron. The mess to which they had contributed, Pharaoh's ego which they had fed, ruined Egypt and them. And their names were nearly lost to history. They are only remembered as learned fools and depraved imitators of the prophets of the true God. Watch out for those who pander. Be so careful around those people who tell you what they think you want to hear. When people validate the opinion you already have, think critically about what they think they stand to gain from you continuing down that path, and recognize that their folly may very well be revealed in your utter destruction. Seriously, y'all, there are so many voices out there telling you what you want to hear. Do you want to hear that you're the real victim, that you're not racist, but they are, that government will save you, that government is evil? Whatever it is that you want to believe, you will always be able to find a learned and depraved mind who will give you enough to confirm your bias. Now more than ever, and they'll be doing it to make money off of you, probably. But whatever their goal, in the end, it'll come to folly. And so will you, if you listen. This is the unique value of genuine biblical Christianity. The Bible isn't interested in confirming your biases because your biases are sinful. The Bible isn't afraid to offend your sinful heart as it confronts you with the way you've offended the true God by pitting your ego against Him. The truth to which Moses held, and that was lost on Jannes and Jambres and Pharaoh, is still the truth, and biblical learning alone can reveal it, that God always wins, and that His victory is yours only through faith in Jesus. People will even try to imitate that. They'll claim that Jesus is cool with racism. They'll claim that this government is aligned with Jesus and that one isn't. They'll preach something similar enough to the gospel itself and call themselves Christians as they take your money, your votes, your anger, and pocket it. They will. They're doing it right now. Don't let them. And don't be afraid of them. Just hold to the truth. The truth is love. The truth is God. The truth is Jesus. Whether it's what you and I want to hear or not, the truth is that God always wins. And whether it's what you and I want to hear or not, it's what we believe. The genuine biblical faith of Christianity. From Moses to Paul, it's Jesus. You and I are dust and breath, loved by God, bought by Jesus. This podcast is written and produced by me, Ethan Cherney, a pastor at Bethel Lutheran Church in Menasha, Wisconsin, member of the Wisconsin Evangelical Lutheran Synod. Outro music arranged and performed by Mr. Peter Shawy, who is like clay in the hand of the potter. Keep in touch. Reach out to us on Twitter or Facebook at Dust and Breath Pod, or send an email to dustandbreathpod@gmail.com. Or you could write us a review, recommend a episode to somebody else. That's the only way other people find out about the show. Now go, do what God called you to do, be who God made you to be, see what God can do with dust and breath and faith in Jesus, his Son.